Hello, Substack family. Happy Monday. It's been a minute, and I've been thinking about all of you and how and what I have to offer in this moment in time. I've learned over years and years of interacting and sharing medicine that it's really best that I wait until the muse herself offers the exact potent medicine that she intends to offer in any given moment. And she never disappoints. So I'm here with you this morning to share with you a really clear message I have been receiving from the Great Mystery, from the Great Mother, and to share with you some of the medicine that has been flowing through the fields of creation recently. I have my tea. I'm going to take a minute, center myself, and start to share with you about the medicine of rites of passage. So many of you know that in the last 4 months, I have had the precious gift of journeying to 3 countries in Europe and reconnecting to the medicine of the ancestral homelands from which I come. And when I traveled to Europe, to Ireland, I was able to receive the transmission and incredible reconnection to the reigniting of the fires of creation that are held through the lineages of Bridget and the sacred holy wells and fires of the ancestral spirits, the Fae in Ireland, and connecting to the ancient wisdom of the yew trees in England and the power of the red and the white springs and the Tor at Holy Glastonbury. And just recently was completely reignited in the work that I offer, the deep ceremonial healing work that I am privileged to get to be a part of through leading an ayahuasca retreat in Spain with Anamkara Retreats. And just so deeply inspired by the medicine of the Shipibo and the plants and plant diets and everything that is available to us when we truly choose to enter into these great, deep healing spaces of mystery. And for those of you who have been walking with me on the medicine path for some time, or those of you who are inspired to either deepen your medicine path or pick it back up again, or to really start from the very beginning, I am really excited to say that this is coming back alive for me now that Oren is over 2 years old, and there will be more opportunities to walk with me in this way in the coming months and the coming years. And I'll share more about that in another moment in time. But for now, I am starting to hold a recognition of some things that are happening in the greater collective sphere. And one of the passages that's starting to come forward, one of the alchemical templates that's healing in the greater feminine collective and in the masculine collective, is the restoration of what we would call rites of passage. Now, for those of you who don't know about rites of passage or haven't had a chance to tune into them recently, or just want to hear them from my voice, I will share that as humans on the path of awakening, while actively maturing in an embodied way. And that means that we are coming to know more and more of our deeper nature, of the light of our eternal being, of our souls. And we're integrating that light through the process of becoming parents, of becoming community members, of becoming leaders of businesses and organizations and schools. We are allowing the light of that awakening to actually move all the way down into our integration into everyday life in society. There are specific psychological, shamanic, soul-based maturation processes that occur for us. And when we dissociate the light of our being, the light of our eternal nature from those processes, we can get very lost. We can go through a rite of passage from maiden to mother, or from mother to matriarch, or from matriarch to elder. And we lose our way, and we don't have awareness of what's happening for us. And it can be extremely painful. Not only do we miss out on the alchemical potency of what could happen when we make that passage, but we also endure incredible amounts of grief and loss and disorientation because we are disconnected from the greater holistic templates of what it means, for instance, to become a maiden, or what it means to become a mother, or what it means to take a seat as an elder. So, part of this reconnection to our ancestral memory is the recognition that we are part of a greater history of what it actually means to be human. And that as we remember what it means to be human, we recognize the sacredness of human. And we move through these rites of passages and portals of transformation as a way to reconnect to more and more and more of ourselves over time, and not to die a little bit each day on the way to the grave. So this is a greater transformation that's starting to occur in the collective of the human consciousness. And I have been noticing this recently as I have clients arriving at my doorstep who are doing integration of medicine work from Spain, or who are here in Alabama and going through an awakening process. And what I always notice is that there is some sort of catalyst that happens in their lives. Maybe it's the birth of a child. Maybe it's the death of a dog or a parent. Maybe it is a job that someone thought was going to be a lifelong career that suddenly dissolves and falls away. But there's always a catalyst that comes forward that shakes people up from the asleepness of their everyday living and requires them to become more of who they are, to become more of that eternal light, to wake up, to grow up, to embody themselves, to find an inner strength, to find an inner spaciousness, to become more loving, to become more boundaried. Whatever life is requiring of them in that moment is part of the rite of passage of that maturation. So recently, I've actually been having a lot of women coming to me who are in their kind of matriarch years. They're in their late 50s, early 60s, and they are waking up to the transformation between matriarch and elder. Or they're waking up to a transformation that they never made from mother to matriarch, and they're going, "My God, I'm 40 years old, I'm 50 years old, I'm 55 years old, and my children are grown, and I'm recognizing I don't know what I want to do with my life." Or I'm recognizing that I'm 60 years old and I've never actually stood up to a man who had seeming power in front of me. And they're waking up and asking, what do I want for my life? There's a recognition coming forward that I have lived what I would call an authentic or an unembodied life. This causes profound levels of grief and loss and disorientation when we actually begin to touch this question: what do I want from my life? And when we have moments, these moments of grace, of awakening, when we wake up and we look around and we realize that we've been living in someone else's story, someone else's expectation for our lives. And so we start, or we can start, if we're well supported, the profound journey to the embodiment of an authentic life. This is what's arriving at my doorstep right now. And so I want to share it with you because it can be helpful to widen the net of awareness for the recognition, hey, this is maybe happening for me too. I would say that as a culture, we are also going through a very powerful transformation from maiden to mother, from uninitiated masculine into a father spirit. We are undergoing as a collective a profound initiation into embodied motherhood and embodied fatherhood. And that does not mean that we are taking on the roles and the like, oh, I do it like this, and then I do it like this, and I become responsible and I get a job and a 401k. No, we are in a profound initiation towards authentic, embodied integration of the true mother and father templates. And that means we are not bowing to perceived authority, but we have a healthy respect for eldership. It means we are not dissociating from our responsibilities, but we are not taking on an authentic expression of responsibility. It means that we are actually truly using our motherhood and our fatherhood to serve life, to serve truth, to serve liberation, to serve the protection of our children. For me personally, it has taken me 2 years and more to come into enough of my embodied mother body in my voice, in my heart, in my belly, to be able to speak about this rite of passage in a way that wasn't me just sharing the challenge of that passage. And I think that's super authentic. I think people who are actually undergoing authentic rites of passage from one form of woman into another need time, and they need adequate space held for them so that they can actually go through the maturation process. So I am feeling on fire in my being right now to not only support people in a good way through those passages, but also to share with you how to become a mother of creation. How do we do it? What do we do? What are the parts of ourselves we need to integrate? What are the skills that are part of becoming a mother of creation? What are the responsibilities? Where am I pointing my arrow if I am to become a mother of creation? What am I doing when I choose to take up and become a matriarch in the middle of a society in collapse? So these are the questions I'm asking myself. These are the frameworks that I am integrating in my being and what I can offer to you. And of course, because I have the capacity to see other parts, past and future, I can also support other rites of passage as well. So, my question for all of you today and the medicine that I'll offer is a reflection on what rite of passage you are entering through right now in your life. What is life asking more of you to become so that you can live an authentic, empowered, embodied, free life? And if you don't know, or if you need support in walking through those doorways of transformation, please reach out. I'm going to be opening up for the first time in 2.5 years, 3 spaces for mentorship this spring and summer and fall, in how we actually become the mothers of creation, how we become the medicine that we seek, how we live embodied, authentic lives and land structures and creations and visions here upon the earth that serve life and all her children. So I am sending all of you so much love today. I hope this was supportive for you. I hope that the medicine of authenticity, of waking up inside the stories of programs, lands with grace and space inside your heart. May the light of creation be born within you now and forevermore. And so it is. Lots of love to all of you.